Guys, this is Mr. Josh CJ, and this is your driver ratings and team ratings to the Spanish Grand Prix. All drivers and teams covered as I rate them out of 10 for their performances over the weekend. Also, we have fastest lap, star in the race, worst driver of the weekend, team of the weekend, and worst team of the weekend. So right, let's start off with Mercedes, shall we? Lewis Hamilton, 10. Yes, I give my driver, Lewis Hamilton, a 10. P6 in qualifying, but then was promoted to P5 because of Gasly's penalty, and obviously finished P2 in the race. That's absolutely fantastic by my driver, Lewis Hamilton. What more could I ask for from my favourite driver? Absolutely fantastic. George Russell, 8. Now, I'd love to mark George Russell higher, but I'm marking him down a bit because qualifying was absolutely dreadful. He qualified to P12, got a really good start to the race, and then ended up finishing P3 in the race. Fantastic by the Mercedes. I know he's still got a long way to catch a Red Bull, but it looks a beast with these upgrades. It really did. Let's hope it's the start of something, but I'm not getting carried away because it's still very, very early days. So it looks like Mercedes are going in a step in the right direction, so that's great news. Ferrari, my team. Here we go. Fuck's sake. Charles Leclerc, 0, absolutely 0. I mean, it's got to be a 0, hasn't it? Because he qualified to P19, then finished P11 in the race. You had Carlos Sainz who finished P5, and Leclerc P11 because of Yuki Tsunoda's penalty, where originally finished P12 but got promoted one place. That's nowhere near good enough. I know Leclerc was having problems with his car, and I'd like to know what the fuck the team did to the car, because his car, the hand of him, was all over the place this weekend for Charles Leclerc, honestly. But to finish in that position in the Scuderia Ferrari is nowhere near good enough. Honestly, shocking by my team. It really is dreadful. Carlos Sainz, 7. Yes, I gave Carlos Sainz a 7. He did very well in qualifying, to qualify P2 and then finish P5 in the race. Yeah, the Ferrari's race pace is just terrible. Tyre degradation is shocking. And do stay tuned to my rant I have on Ferrari coming up tomorrow. 9 AM UK time. Yes, I'll be doing a rant on my favourite team. I'm not happy at all. A team who I've absolutely loved and been following since the early 2000s. It's just an absolute joke. And they do not have the attitude to win anymore. Well, I still do. I have high standards for the team. Yeah, so stay tuned to that tomorrow. Red Bull, Max Verstappen, 10. Yes, I give Max Verstappen a 10. P1 in qualifying, P1 in the race. Absolutely dominated. A 3-time world champion. Yeah, even if Mercedes get a car right, I honestly believe it's too late to give Red Bull a proper title fight. But yeah, Max led the whole race. Fastest in FP1, FP2, FP3. Yeah, literally a perfect weekend for the soon-to-be 3-time world champion. Sergio Perez, 0, absolutely 0. I mean, P11 in qualifying and then P4 in the race. If that was Max, he would have gone from P11 to P1 in the race. Nowhere near good enough by Checo Perez. You are in a Red Bull. You are clearly in the fastest car on the grid. And you've got knocked out in Q2, where your teammates put it in Q1. And you finish behind a Mercedes in the race. Absolutely dreadful. There are no excuses whatsoever by Checo Perez. Honestly, shocking. He's got to sort himself out. Otherwise, Red Bull will be looking for a replacement, because Red Bull are brutal with their drivers. That's the facts of the matter. They are so brutal, Red Bull, with their drivers. McLaren, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, 6. Yes, I give them both a 6. Now, I got to mark Lando Norris down. In qualifying, he was superb. Qualified to P3. Then in the race, at the start, damaged his front wing after contact with Lewis Hamilton. And literally after that, it was just like a test session for Lando Norris. Absolutely ruined his race. Oscar Piastri, 6. I mean, he got through to Q3, but bit of a bang average weekend, really, for Oscar Piastri this weekend, as both McLarens finished outside of the points. Pierre Gasly, well, I actually put 7, but I'm going to have to mark him down a bit. Probably mark him down to 6, because obviously he impeded, I think it was Carlos Sainz in qualifying, so he had a penalty, and in the race, finished in the points, so yeah, you have to mark him down. Esteban Ocon, 5. Yes, I give Esteban Ocon a 5. You know, I was not very impressed with Ocon this weekend, and he made a very late change of direction on Fernando Alonso, which could have been so dangerous in the race. Yeah, so Ocon, 5. Nick de Vries, 5. I mean, he qualified, he missed out on Q3, which obviously we know the AlphaTauri isn't great, but by an average, really, by Nick de Vries. So, yeah, I'll give him a 5. 1 for 1, Yuki Tsunoda, 8. Yes, I give Yuki Tsunoda an 8, because he was running in the points, and then the FIA decided to award a bullshit time penalty, 5 seconds time penalty, so he dropped out in the points. To me, it was fair defending against Guan Yu Zhou. He did not drive him off circuit. To me, it was fair racing, but the FIA thought different. So, yeah, I was really disappointed with that decision. I really was. Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, 6. Yes, I give both the Aston Martins a 6. They were nowhere this weekend. I don't know what was going on with Aston Martin this weekend, but they were not great at all. But they're allowed a one-off bad race. They have performed way above expectation this year, Aston Martin. Let's see if they can get back on track in Canada. But yeah, the Mercedes, I mean, with them upgrades, absolutely breezed past the Aston Martin in a straight line. If that was Aston Martin at the start of the season and Mercedes were still using their old design, I mean, that Mercedes had had no chance keeping up with the Aston Martin. But now it looks like Mercedes has overtaken Aston Martin. Yeah, not good weekends for Aston Martin, but hopefully they can bounce back. Alfa Romeo, Valtteri Bottas, 5. Yes, I can Valtteri Bottas a 5. By an average, really. I mean, just, yeah, needs to be doing better, I think, Valtteri Bottas. Guan Yu Zhou, 6. Yes, I give Guan Yu Zhou a 6. I mean, wow, he's good in qualifying, but in the race, yeah, had a battle with 1 for 1 Yuki Tsunoda, and I believe he was the one who finished in the points. So, yeah, that's decent by Guan Yu Zhou, because usually he's the hardest driver to get a rating, but yeah, I'll give him a 6. I mean, but I still don't agree with Yuki Tsunoda's penalty. I think that's very harsh. Haas, Kevin Magnussen, 4. I mean, it's got to be 4. Shocking in qualifying and the race, absolutely nowhere. Nico Hülkenberg, 6. Now, he did get into Q3, Nico Hülkenberg, so that's why I'm getting him a higher rating than Kevin Magnussen, but Haas race face is terrible, absolutely nowhere. Yeah, so he's got to be 6. You got to mark him down a little bit, but also mark him up a little bit as well for making Q3. Alex Albon, 7. Yes, I can Alex Albon a 7. Now, some of you may be thinking that's a bit of a high rating for Alex Albon, but to me, he performed the best he could in that Williams, so it had no pace this weekend. It was nowhere in the Williams this weekend at all. So yeah, 7 I give Alex Albon. Logan Sargent, 0, absolutely 0. I mean, he qualified last in qualifying and then finished last in the race. I mean, this guy is well and truly Nicholas Latifi 2.0. He really is. He really is well and truly out his depth. And if Williams want to move forward as a team, they need a competitive teammate who's going to give Alex Albon a good battle. 0, nowhere near good enough by Logan Sargent. Way out his depth. Driver ratings done. Team ratings. Mercedes 10, P2 and P3. They gotta be my team in the weekend. Fantastic points to them. And like I said, fingers crossed, this is the start of something from Mercedes now with this new car concept. Ferrari 4. I mean, just Carlos Sainz is good in qualifying, but race absolutely nowhere, and Charles Leclerc finished outside the points. Shocking by my own team, honestly. Absolutely dreadful. No excuses. Red Bull 7. Yes, I'm marking Red Bull down a little bit because of how poor Sergio Perez was again. So yeah, 7 for Red Bull. McLaren 7. Really good by Norris in qualifying, but then literally McLaren nowhere in the race. Alpine 7. Gasly had that penalty, but race pace was still decent by Alpine, so they still scored a couple of points. AlphaTauri 7. 1 was robbed of points. Nick de Vries, bang average. Aston Martin 5. Like I said, it was just a bad weekend for them this weekend. Alfa Romeo 5. Yeah, bang average really by them. Haas 5. Race pace shocking. Williams 5. Albon did the best he could. Logan Sargent, Nicholas Latifi 2.0. Not good enough. Fastest lap, Max. 1 minute 16.330. Starting the race, George Russell coming from P12 to finish P3 was definitely my driver of the day. Worst driver of the weekend, and this one hurts, Charles Leclerc. I mean, I don't know what on earth was going on with Charles Leclerc, honestly. He's not having the best of seasons, so yeah, you gotta give him worst driver of the weekend, because he still should have brought that car home in the points. So yeah, shocking by the Monegasque. But it's not all his fault though, it's the Scuderia need to take responsibility as well. As I said, join me tomorrow, 9 AM, where I absolutely tear into that Italian outfit. Team of the weekend, Mercedes, P2, P3, fantastic for them. And worst team of the weekend, yep, you guessed it, my team, Ferrari. So that's the driver ratings done, team ratings done for the Spanish Grand Prix. We now have a 2 weeks break. So we'll be going to Canada next. Comment your thoughts down below. I will always reply. And yeah, thanks for all the support on my F1 videos. Really enjoy doing these F1 videos. Bye-bye.